The robots are coming and we want to eat your medicine and play table tennis.
Well, probably not. But the robots are indeed en route. It's an intriguing time to be alive as we're in the midst of a technological boom, with the likes of robotics, 3D printing, and virtual reality making real strides over the past handful of years. The latter of which, virtual reality, is set to take center stage with the first commercially produced VR headsets coming to market as early as Q1 of 2016. Virtual reality promises for fully immersive, emotional experiences, the potential of which is perhaps boundless. So, what sort of applications can we expect to see VR and other emerging tech excel at, and what are the potential social and societal pitfalls and benefits? Hey Calgary, thanks for joining us. I'm Kevin Chorney. I'm joined with Nico Lee, UFC Computer Science Research Associate, as well as John McDonald from Magic Maker Limited. Guys, thanks a bunch for being here.
Thank you. Nice to meet you.
Real quick, Nico, tell us a bit about your work at the UFC.
Okay, I'm doing research in the University of Calgary.
Yeah.
I'm focusing on augmented reality, virtual reality, and human-robotic interactions, this kind of stuff. A lot of cool people and crazy idea going on there.
It's
really
it's
awesome.
the epicenter of creativity over there.
Totally, yes.
Excellent. Well, thanks for taking the time for being here.
Thank you.
John, tell us a bit about Magic Maker and what you guys are up to over there.
Yeah, Magic Maker is a 3D printing and 3D marketing company.
Yeah.
Right now we're developing cool machines and
Definitely.
making interesting stuff. We're making a dress right now that's going to be on a runway in China next week. And
A
all sorts
3D
of
printed dress.
Yeah,
Is
full
that
dress.
so?
Yeah.
That's crazy, man. Crazy. It's a crazy time to be alive, right?
It is.
Yeah, totally, yeah.
Maybe I'll start with you, Nico.
Right.
Where the bar is currently set, I mean, what entails true virtual reality?
Well, we're actually living at this excitement period of time. The computational power is ready. Like think about like 30 years ago, how the Atari 2600, the rendering technique, and now it's rendering photorealistic images become so cheap, we can finally pack it into a portable computer system less than $1,000.
Crazy.
And meanwhile, this kind of device, like running stereoscope typing.
Stereoscopic vision. Yeah.
Yes, definitely.
So this is the Oculus Rift.
The
Now,
first
this is the
generation,
original
the
development kit.
biggest, the clunky one.
Okay, so just so I'm clear, I mean, it looks pretty straightforward, but for anybody out there who has any question, you wear it just like you would a set of glasses, essentially.
Yeah, essentially.
You put it over your
huge,
face,
goofy
right?
one.
Yeah,
Yes,
of course,
totally,
a little cumbersome. But there's two, I guess, essentially small television cameras in here. Can we maybe get a shot of that? If we can somehow zoom in on that. Well, you can maybe take a look over here.
So there are two individual small screens inside this huge headset display.
Right.
It's just rendering like different images for both your eyes, like individual eyes. This is similar to the 3D movies you see in the theater nowadays. So seeing like virtual reality, well, probably now when you're talking about immersive virtual experience, you usually come across two different terminologies. One is virtual reality, one is augmented reality.
Augmented reality, right.
So for virtual reality, the entire, it's a huge plastic plane in front of both of your eyes.
Yeah.
So which means your naked eye sight has been blocked completely.
Right.
Everything is rendered virtually. So everything you see is rendered by computer graphics.
Full immersion is the
Definitely.
key.
So on the other hand, well, because some limitation, like by rendering everything by computer, instead of rendering everything, the augmented reality use transparent look-through glasses.
Right.
So you still observe your surrounding setting with your naked eye, and meanwhile, superimpose visualizations on the top of that. So you see half of your everyday view and half of the visualization. That's the main difference.
So how's this stuff going to change the world? How is augmented reality and virtual reality going to change the world? And you're welcome to jump in if you want, John. I'm not trying to ignore you, but I got to be honest. I'm pretty pumped about this whole VR thing.
Okay, I'm just starting the topic. So my personal experience is this is like the fundamental change of collaborative work between human. Like, if we think about human history, we're struggling with how much energy and information wasted while transmitting certain amount of piece of information. Like there's a certain ratio, like how much real information you are transmitting over all the energy, all the other information you are wasted during the process, right? From the Victoria period of time, sending a single piece of letter, you are involving the horse.
Messenger pigeon. Sure.
Yeah. Like steam engine ships. This is like crazy, and only one sentence can be transferred. And then telegraph.
Right. Of course.
Right. It requires people to be trained to encode and decipher those messages.
Okay.
Like you convert everything into binary code, and then send it and decode. Well, think about 26 letters for English will be easy. Think about Chinese. They use like
a little bit harder.
2,000 basic characters, and they all convert into 4-digit codings,
Of
right?
course.
Like people spend decades to be trained for this kind of simple process. And now we're moving to this, of course, in the middle, text message and voice conference, something like that. But we're always struggling with the technical issue. Like before transmitting the real message, think about how much time we wasted because somebody lost their signal. Somebody just kicked it out from the conference.
Fast forward to today, and it is
today.
Their real time, full render, ready to go.
All those, the ratio is maximized, right? Like we have so little to be wasted and maximize plus the natural interaction. We no longer need to decipher a huge spreadsheet.
It's not
right?
the possibilities. Hearing you speak, the possibilities sound endless.
Definitely,
folks. We're going to jump to a quick break and check in with the Rant Pack. Stay with us.
This emerging technology thing is fascinating. I am so excited about it, and the applications in my mind are so vast. I watched the other day on YouTube a video of a guy who's Bill Keane, actually, who did Family Circus, and he's an artist and draws stuff for Disney and everything, and he drew in a virtual reality space with the Oculus mask on, and it was fabulous. It was so interesting to watch his arms doing this and drawing these big 3D animations that you could go inside. And it's animation and it's art, but when you think about that in terms of a medical application where a physician could literally be inside a body and see what's inside the body, or where a designer could be inside a building and there would never be, well, there would be way fewer issues with the building because you could see it from all aspects and you could design inside. It's fantastic. And then when I think of elderly people or people who are incapacitated and can't travel, but they can get a headset on and they can travel in such a way that it's so real that they feel like they're there and they can hear the sounds, and I mean, smell-o-vision, you could bring that into. I think the application of that stuff is so grand and so vast, I can hardly wait. Awesome.
Man, Julie's pretty pumped about the upcoming tech, and can you blame her? Now, John, you brought a whole bunch of goodies here.
I did.
I see. I see. What's this over here? First and foremost, maybe.
This guy here?
Yes, please.
So this is a machine that the Magic Maker team developed. It's called the Rebel Castor.
Rebel Castor, cool.
Yeah, it's one of the world's first desktop rotational casting machines, and the basis of it is instead of 3D printing every object that you got, you would 3D print a mold of it, a negative of it.
Okay.
And you would strap it to the machine. You load liquid plastic into it, a resin plastic.
Yeah.
This thing spins like crazy, and after 10 minutes, you open the mold, you got a new part. So you can now duplicate parts much faster than a 3D printer could see.
That is something else. Okay, so a lot of people are going to hear that. They're going to say, well, that sounds a lot like, you can save time with an injection molder. I think that's an unfair statement, though, because, of course, you're using far more material to run, say, an injection molder. And I would think cost of operation a lot lower as well.
Exactly. So this is a really good middle ground. So 3D printing is good for if you're making 1 to maybe 50 of an object.
Yeah.
It gets really costly above that.
Sure.
Our machine, 50 to 500, or 400 parts. And then anything above 500, you might want to go to injection molding. But realistically, there is a gap there.
So the idea is it's a lot of custom work then, it sounds like.
That's right.
So what kind of stuff are you guys doing nowadays?
We've made everywhere from pipelines for display, prototype pipelines, to shot glasses, to the dress that we're working on now. So
the dress.
Yeah.
Tell me a bit about this dress.
Yeah, so it's a dress that's going to be on a runway in, I think, about a week and a half.
Yeah.
And what it was she wanted a dress to look like a living rainforest. So we had flowers,
That's a lofty request, isn't it? A living rainforest.
And it kind of changed as we went along, but now it's this, it's kind of fabric and 3D prints all woven into one.
Cool.
And underneath the whole thing is light up LEDs and fiber optics. And so as the woman takes steps, it actually changes color in whatever color you want it to be.
That sounds beautiful. It sounds like walking art, doesn't it?
Definitely.
I mean, aside from, obviously, that's fantastic. But there's also a real, I guess, push in the medical community for 3D printers to be more widespread.
Absolutely.
What are some of the, I guess, applications within the medical community that have seen 3D printers used?
I think the biggest one right now that's relevant today is there's prosthetic limbs.
Yeah.
So there's a really good design that you can actually download for free and print right at home with a $500 printer.
Wow.
And give the opportunity for a child that has no hand to suddenly have a hand and pick up a ball.
It's incredible.
And the cost of material, you might be looking at $30 worth of plastic.
So
and
would that be the similar material to what is on the table there in front of you?
That's exactly it. So this would be the material here. And it looks like weed whacker. It
does, yeah. It looks like a huge weed
plastic.
whacker, like you never mowed your lawn and now it's time to do the deed.
Exactly.
What is it though exactly? It's just plastic? It's a resin?
Yeah, it's a plastic. It's called PLA. It's biodegradable plastic.
Yeah.
And it literally just goes into the top of a printer like a hot glue gun.
Yeah.
And it just moves it back and forth, and eventually you get a 3D shape out of that.
And it's strong.
Yep. Yeah, very
tough.
strong.
I mean, it's going to be used for a prosthetic limb, I would hope so.
Exactly. Yeah.
Now, guys, do you think down the road, and it's purely hypothetical, will we see the melding of these two technologies where you can, potentially design something within an augmented reality or a virtual reality environment and then have it come to fruition via the 3D printing technology?
Absolutely.
Is that plausible?
100%.
Oh yeah, I can see this is at the current stage, there are two parallel different approaches, right?
Exactly.
On one hand, the virtual reality let you to see it from the visual aspect, to see the real thing you want to create.
That's right.
On the other hand, the 3D printing technology actually realize the thing, whatever you designed in the virtual world, and it come like vice versa.
So it's plausible. You think it will happen?
Oh, totally, yes.
Yeah.
And finally, I believe these two will be merged into the next generation super fancy interface.
And that's the next step. We need a step to make designing things in 3D easier.
Yeah.
We need something to make it really straightforward on how to make something. And right now it's not. It's not natural on a computer. It's a lot of training.
Yeah.
But to actually jump in a virtual world and mold a piece of clay like you would an actual piece of clay.
Exactly. Yeah.
That is a natural
Oh,
step.
that's cool. That's
Totally
exciting.
agree,
It's really exciting, guys. We're out of time.
Yeah.
Thanks a lot for being here and sharing the
Thank
knowledge.
you.
We really appreciate it.
Thanks for
Folks, we're
having us.
going to jump to a quick break. We'll be right back. Stay with us.